Good evening, everyone. I hope you are well. Thank you for joining me this evening. We are just going to wait a couple more minutes while I admit the last few people into the meeting. While we are waiting, I will ask that you mute your microphones so that we don't have any background noise, and we'll get started shortly with the presentation. So good evening all, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us this evening for Hamilton TFC's program presentation. My name is Carl Horton. Tonight we will go through a presentation that shows everyone what our Hamilton TFC program is about. And at the end of the night, at the end of the presentation, there will be an opportunity for some questions and answers. So hopefully, if you've got questions, please leave them right till the end, and we will go through those questions one at a time. We are still admitting people. The presentation is being recorded and will be sent out to all pro players and families tomorrow during the day when emails will also be going out to families. So we'll talk more about that as we go through the presentation. So hopefully everyone can see my screen, and we will get started. So in tonight's agenda, we're going to look a little bit at what Hamilton TFC is all about. And we're going to take a look at our environment. We will be looking at the 4 pillars of our academy program. And we'll take a look at the curriculum, our coaching structure, a little bit on the competition structure. We'll talk a little bit about game day rosters so everyone can understand what game day rosters are. We'll take a look at the winter schedule, talk a little bit about the player pathway for some people that are just entering the pathway. For some, they've been in the pathway for many years. Talk a little bit about our U7 pre-academy program that we've now created. Talk about the selects program. We'll have a look at the academy costs, the player uniforms, and then we'll talk about the next steps. And then at the end of the presentation, there will be an opportunity for questions and answers. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of everyone at Hamilton TFC. This year we had an astonishing close to 450 players join our discovery sessions looking to want to play at Hamilton TFC. And it's fantastic to see that amount of children on the fields this past weekend and over the last 2 evenings. Last year we had just over 400, so to hit 450 children really does show the community how our programs are growing. Our Hamilton TFC is the #1 place for children U8 to U12 to play within the city of Hamilton. And we thank you for joining us on the field and for joining us this evening. On this evening's call at the present time, we've got over 150 children or parents on the call. If I could,
why not or not?
Why?
Who cares?
If I could ask you to mute yourselves so that we have no background that would be greatly appreciated. So a little bit about myself. My name is Carl Horton. I am the club's technical director and general manager. I grew up in England. I moved over to North America when I was 18 in 2001. So I've been in North America, been involved with soccer across New York City, across America, and now into Ontario. And I've been in Ontario since 2005. I grew up playing soccer in a small town back in England called Grimsby Town. For those that know Grimsby Town, we're a small little club playing in the Football League Division 2 now. So football was my life. I grew up every day playing football, and then I moved to America and North America to be able to work with children and develop children and grow our game in North America. Since I've been in North America, I've been working for Ontario Soccer. I've worked for Canada Soccer. I've worked at developing both players and coaches across the province, and now I'm lucky enough to work within my own city where I live, and it's an enjoyable time at the present time working at Hamilton TFC, Mount Hamilton Youth Soccer Club. So I thank you for that. I'm also Canadian National A license, and I'm a Canadian children's license coach, as well as a Canadian soccer coach developer, where I deliver coaching courses from the C license to the children's course to coaches within our country. And the final picture there is of myself and my wife. Behind every good man, there's a very good wife, and my wife is a very good wife. She never sees me at home, and I thank her for everything that she does, and she's fully supportive of everything that I'm doing, and she's the one that listens to me when I come home. So just a little bit about myself, so that everyone is aware of who I am and who you're working with. So a little bit about Hamilton TFC. Hamilton TFC is quite a new program. Back in 2021, September of 2021, we became Hamilton TFC through our affiliations with Mount Hamilton Youth Soccer Club. Our U8 to U12 programs transitioned to Hamilton TFC. In the summer of 2022, players that played for Mount Hamilton Youth Soccer Club played under the name of Hamilton TFC, and they wore the Mount Hamilton uniforms. As of October the 1st, 2022, our full U8 to U12 Academy program will have a full transition over to Hamilton TFC, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we get into our uniforms. All of our U8 to U12 programs will play under the name of Hamilton TFC, so as we participate in the leagues, we will be called Hamilton TFC. Through our affiliation with Toronto FC, we have player identification opportunities. There's a pathway for players to get into that professional environment. Currently, we have some of our players from the last year's U12 program that are currently getting the opportunity to be seen by Toronto FC and potentially have the opportunity to move into their full academy so that they can progress through that pathway. We, as Hamilton TFC, do receive technical guidance and assistance from the Toronto FC Academy staff. So myself, I have monthly meetings with Toronto FC. Our coaches receive a full curriculum that has been provided for Toronto FC from Toronto FC that we deliver here at Hamilton TFC. There's also other opportunities for players that will be created as we travel through the year. Opportunities for players to be seen by Toronto FC Academy staff. This year, Toronto FC Academy staff came down to our sessions, watched our sessions, identified players. But there'll also be other opportunities where we get to play against some of our affiliate clubs, as well as getting the opportunity potentially to go down to BMO Field training facility, as well as to the stadium and ticket opportunities and things like that. All of our coaches that coach at Hamilton TFC do get coach development opportunities that are provided them through Toronto FC, and all Toronto FC coach education is also provided through Major League Soccer. So there's lots of opportunities, not just for players, but also for our coaching staff. So Toronto FC Academy affiliates. Hamilton TFC is one academy affiliate. There are 6 academy affiliates in total. They're spread across the province of Ontario, and they are Dero. So Dwayne De Rosario's academy is an affiliate of Toronto FC. Obviously, Hamilton TFC. There is London TFC, Kitchener TFC, Ottawa TFC, and Windsor TFC. So all 6 of these affiliate programs work from curriculum that's provided from Toronto FC. They all wear the Toronto FC uniforms, and it's one big family. Everyone works together, and again, there's opportunities for affiliates to participate in competition against each other, which some of our age groups did do that last year, and it was very successful. So here at Hamilton CFC, we look to create an environment that is conducive for development within both of our boys and girls teams within the club. We talk about creating smiling and sweaty soccer players. We want our players to have fun. We want our players to constantly have smiles on their faces. And for those that have been in the academy, I think you can start to see that in the training sessions and the environment that we try to create. Our coaches are they have fun with the players, but they also ensure that as the players are on the field, they know that they're there to learn, to develop, and our players continually develop. That smiling and sweaty culture is very easy to see as you sit back and you watch our sessions. We're also looking to create that baller culture. What we're looking for there is for players to have the ability and the confidence to be in control of the ball. At the youngest age groups, we focus on keeping our players touching a ball, working on individual skills. It's not about passing all the time straight away. At the younger age groups, they need to learn how to manipulate the ball, beat people, dribble past people, and just develop those basic skills. So we look at creating that baller culture in a safe environment. When we talk about safe, we talk about providing players the opportunity to make mistakes. We don't tell a player off for making a mistake. We want to make sure that players are in a safe environment. They're working on developing the principles of play that we instill in the players, but it's safe. If we try to play out of the back and we concede a goal, it's okay. And we want the players to continue to do that so that they're learning the game and learning how the game should be played correctly. Also create a competitive environment. So through our curriculum, our players will every 4th week will participate in inter-squad competition. So when it comes to that inter-squad competition, players play small-sided games, there's individual competitions, and the players really, really love that additional competition. I know this year personally, I was the head coach with our U10 players, and every 4th week they knew it was coming, and the World Cups, the juggling competitions, they love that. And just to create that competitiveness within our own environment was vital for the development of our players. Within all of our sessions, within every environment that we create, there's lots and lots of playtime. We believe that there should be no drills. Players will learn the game from playing the game. So everything we do looks and feels like the game. Whether it's a 2 versus 1 situation or a 3 versus 3 game, we have everything that looks and feels like a game. So there'll always be opposition. There'll always be support players. There'll always be targets or goals. And our coaches are very supportive. We want our players to be supportive of each other as well. Again, going back to creating that safe environment. If a mistake occurs, it's okay. We talk about how we can learn from the mistake to not have the mistake happen again. And we allow players to give us feedback, we give them feedback, and other players will give each other feedback as well. When we take a look at the 4 pillars of the academy, at the very center of our pillars is the player. The player has to be the number one factor in everything that we do. So when we look at the 4 pillars, the first pillar is love the sport. We want our players to fall in love with the game. We've seen too many players in the past leave the game of soccer because they've not fallen in love with it. So again, creating that safe, supportive environment where there's fun, there's freedom, the players have autonomy to make decisions, and we really want the players to fall in love with that game. As we look into the bottom corner, we'll look at the purposeful soccer actions. So again, everything that we do is related to the game. You won't see players dribbling through cones or standing in lines because you don't do that in a game of soccer. We look to create an environment where it's related to the game, and then the players can take that onto the field, into the real game situation, and translate that into the game. So we look at how we play forward. Can we be fearless in 1v1 situations? We want our players to be able to dribble the ball. We want our players to be able to defend, but we want them to be fearless. We look at how they work on their timing of support, how they can help each other as the ball travels. How do people get into positions where they're getting the correct body position to be able to open up and receive a pass? We look at deception, manipulation on the ball, and then we look at the technical speed of the game. We try to play the game quickly, but again, by putting the players into these environments, we can ensure that purposeful soccer actions are occurring in every session. Then we look at the efficiency of athleticism. So can players control their body? So we're looking at a little bit about the ABCs: agility, balance, coordination. So can they control their body? Do they have good balance? Do they have high energy? Can they anticipate what's going to happen in games rather than react? And we'll look at a little bit about functional movement patterns as the children get older. And then to finish, the competitive habits and behaviors. So we'll look at players being able to improvise. We don't want things to be easy for the opponents to read. So how do they improvise using their body? Can they look to go one direction but fake to go the other? We work a lot on problem solving. So within our academy sessions, we don't always give the players the answers. Players are it's been proved to show that players, as they figure things out themselves, there's a greater transition into the development of the game. So we look at them problem solving, whether it's in twos, in threes, but in small groups. We work on their problem solving skills together. There's high engagement, whether it's with the coaching staff or with player to player. They're always working together, and they're looking at developing those communication skills. And there's a desire to compete. Those players or those parents that know the players that are currently in our academy program, they have a huge desire to compete. And that's why that fourth week of every training session, every week, is vital for their development, because they get a tremendous amount of competition, and it's great to see. So when we look at the curriculum, so Toronto FC send a curriculum to ourselves, and we utilize this curriculum. And the curriculum's split into 3 different stages. We have the me stage, the we stage, and the us stage. So the me stage, you can probably guess, it's about me and the ball. So when we work with our players, whether it's in individual attacking or individual defending, it's about the player, how they manipulate the ball, how they touch the ball, how they change direction, or if they're defending, how they close the space down, how they organize their body. Then when we look at the we stage, the we stage is for where we're working in groups of 2, maybe groups of 3, where they work to communicate, collaborate together with a partner, with a 3. And again, we just break the game down. So when we're looking to play out of the back, we recognize that playing from the goalkeeper to a defender is a 2 versus 1 situation. So that's where we're looking at the we stage. And then as we get to the us stage comes in as the players get older. We're looking at 4, 5v5s, 6v6, with players working together as units. So whether that's the back line, the midfield line, or the midfield and the forwards. So that's the us stage of the curriculum. So here a little bit more detailed information. When we look at the me stage, we're looking at 1 versus 1s. How do we gain speed to be able to penetrate? Or how do we protect the ball to manipulate the ball to keep that away from a defender? And in everything that we do, it's small-sided game configuration. So when we're working in the me stage, it's 1v1 to a goal. It's 2v2, 2v1, 3v3. So the me stage works on individual players on their own, building that confidence and just becoming better individual players. When we look at the we stage, we talk about exploiting overloads, so creating number up situations. If we've got a 2v1, how do we manipulate that 2v1 to be able to get us forward up the field? So we'll working on movement to get unmarked. We look at fixing defenders and provoking defenders into trying to win possession of the ball and then be able to play to that second player. When we talk about the us stage, again, it's collective possession. So as a team, looking at team shape, looking how we play through the lines, looking to see how we can find space and how we can use players on the further side of the field to be able to keep possession of the ball and then break other teams down. And again, here's just some examples of what the me, we, and us stage looks like. So with the me stage, it's a simple 1v1. You'll see within our curriculum and when you see the players on the field, there's a tremendous amount of 1 versus 1 situations. Whether it's a 1v1 to a ball, 1v1 to a goal, they've always got a target that they're aiming for, an objective, but there's lots and lots of 1v1 situations. The we stage here, again, simple example, 2 versus 1. We've got the ball. How do we beat that player, whether it's with a dribble or with a supporting run? Can we play that pass? And then as we look at the us stage, again, a 3 versus 3 plus a neutral player. So players are now working on how do we take advantage of having that extra player to be able to break the opposition down that's defending us. Again, just some examples, but as you see the sessions unfold on the field, you'll start to say, oh, yeah, I remember that now. And that's how we will then progress. So we'll go from simple to complex. And again, here's just a full session plan example, working right from the beginning, getting the players warm. We'll always do a little activity at the beginning, whether it's a individual ball work activity or a 2-person activity, but the players start to get warm. We then progress into the main body of the session, and there'll typically be a starting activity and then a progression. And then we'll finish always in every session with at least 30 minutes of playing the game. And we believe that the more the children can get to play, the more they'll develop. And the first question a child will always ask when they get to soccer is, when are we going to play? And our philosophy is we'll get them to play as fast as possible. We don't want to use the game as a treat for the players if they work hard or if they're good. We want to get the players into that game situation as soon as possible so that they can then start to develop and bring out those skills that they've been taught in their activities. So looking at the coaching structure, myself as the technical director, I oversee all of our programming. I'm in constant communication with our coaches. We have constant phone calls, meetings. I'm on the field with them, helping them to continue to develop, just again, as our players are continuing to develop. Within every age group, we have an age group head coach. So within our U8 boys, we have Jamie Dodds and Dan Mazuka. Within our U8 girls, we have Giovanni Carboni. Our U9 boys is led by Jamie Dodds, and our U9 girls is led by Dominic McCallum. As we move to our U10 program, our U10 boys is led by Dan Mazuka, and our U10 girls is led by Eugene Mazuka. As we move to our U11s now, Jason Rich is the age group head coach for the boys, and Kyle Sear is the age group head coach for the girls. And then on our U12 program, we have, with the male side, Fab DG Martino and Albert Tenebra with the girls. And underneath all of those head coaches, we have assistant coaches, which typically are parent coaches within the program. As we get going and once offers are made to players, we'll always be looking for additional assistant coaches. So if there are people that are looking to be assistant coaches and help out in our program, what I would suggest is if your child gets an offer to be within the academy, please email myself and we'll take a look at how we can get you involved, because we do look for more coaches. And without our head coaches and without volunteer coaches, our programs wouldn't run. So I believe we do have the best coaches within the city of Hamilton. The coaches are dedicated coaches, they're knowledgeable coaches, they're in the game for the right reasons, and they're all a pleasure to work with. Most of them get to hear me nag and moan every day, but they're great people, and they really are in it to develop our children, and it's really great to see. So when we take a look at the competition structure, so our winter program will start as of the week of October the 17th and run all the way through till April the 1st. Our U8 males and females do not participate in an indoor league. In the winter season, they just concentrate solely on training. For our U9 to U12 males and females, they'll participate in a competitive league that is most likely going to be outside of Hamilton. We're currently working on applying to a league, and we're just currently waiting for approval. That will take place hopefully on September the 27th. So we'll have an answer on that soon. Within each age group, we'll have 2 game day rosters, and each game day roster will participate each week in a competitive game. Once we hit the summer, our summer program we go outside at the beginning of April. So for the month of April, we're on turf. And then our summer program will go from the middle of May all the way through till September, with us just finishing our summer program now. For our U8 to males and females, they will participate in a festival that will take place every Saturday, starting after the May long weekend, and they'll also train twice per week. For our U9 to U12 males and females, they will participate in the MJ Soccer League against other clubs within the Hamilton area. Rosters will be placed in the appropriate tier. So typically we'll have a development roster or a target roster in every age group. And some age groups we may have 2 target rosters. Some age groups we may have 3 rosters. Depending on how we see them fit over the winter will depend on where we place them come the summer. The rosters are flexible, so no child is specifically placed on one team or another. Everyone will train together, and then when it comes to their game day rosters in the summer, children will go off in different directions, but every training session they'll come back together and they'll train together. For our U9 to U12 males and females, they'll play 1 game per week and they'll train twice. So when we take a look at game day rosters, as I mentioned earlier on, players are only permitted to play on 1 game day roster per week, which is on an Ontario soccer policy. Within each age group, Hamilton TFC will enter a minimum of 2 game day rosters per age and per gender. Some age groups may have 3 rosters depending on how many players are within that specific age group. When we look at the game day rosters, as I say, they are target and development rosters, which is basically placing the players at the appropriate development level for their specific game that week. And again, those rosters are flexible, so there can be movement based on what the head coach decides throughout that week. So for the 2022-23 season, we'll be looking at carrying the following numbers, and I'll just let you take a look at that screen. But every age group will be carrying anywhere between 20 players and 33 for the U8 males, and then all the way up to 26 to 28 players for the U11, U12, both male and female divisions. So player development is very non-linear, and I just wanted to bring this slide up because we talk a little bit about game day rosters, target development, and in reality, it doesn't matter which development target roster your child's on as it comes to their games. The diagram on the left-hand side is what majority of people expect development to look like, and they expect it to be a straight line. However, we know children don't develop that way, whether it's in school, in soccer, in reading, in anything that they do. And development is literally all over the place. They'll go up one week, they'll go down the next week, they'll go up, then they'll come down. Then they'll skyrocket as they go through a month of growth, and then they may struggle for a week or two as well. So we at the club, our coaches, our staff, we're very, very patient with our children because we know development is non-linear. We know there are also outside factors that affect the child's development, things that happen at home, school, whether they ate that day before they came to soccer, or what they ate that day before they came to soccer. So we understand that there's lots of things going on in children's lives. This on the right-hand side is typically what development looks like. The left-hand side is not reality. So we just want to get that into parents' minds straight away, that development is non-linear. And at the club, we are very, very patient with our children, and we only want to see the best for them. So when we look at our training schedule for the winter season, again, this information will go out to families once they register and once they accept their positions. But typically, our training sessions will start the week of October the 18th, and they'll run all the way through till March of 2023 in our indoor program. For our indoor program, all of our sessions take place at the Redeemer Dome, which is in Ancaster. For all of our U8 training sessions, they will be 55 minutes in length. And for our U9 to U12 boys and girls, their sessions will be 85 minutes in length. The schedule below is subject to change at the club's discretion if we need to move something around based on a scheduling conflict or a game day conflict, but we do try to keep the schedules as consistent as possible. So at the present time, this is what our schedule will look like come the spring or the middle of October, all the way through till the end of March. For our goalkeepers within the club, they will also receive 1 additional hour of goalkeeper training with our head goalkeeper coach, Lucas Bernstingle. And that will take place on Friday evenings, and that will also take place at the Dome. Once again, once players are registered, that information will be added to Power Up, and all of the schedules be inputted there. So as you can see within our schedules, all age groups get their first training session throughout the week, second training session throughout the week, or on a Saturday, depending if they have a game on Saturday or not. And then our U9s to U11s will play on a Saturday, with our U12 program all playing on a Sunday. So when we look at the player pathway, and this is maybe a familiar diagram to some of you, it's on our club website. There will be players that have been on the right-hand side for a few years. If you are a U11, U12 player, you would have been in this academy program, the green section. If you're a U7 player, U8 player, you're now coming from the recreational side on the left-hand side into our academy stream, or a competitive stream, as we look to call that. So our academy program runs everything from U8 to U12. And within our academy program on a yearly basis, there will be players that will join the academy from the recreational program, and there'll be players that leave the academy and join the recreational program. Again, there is fluidity there between both programs, and everything works hand in hand. As our U12 players graduate, typically, the majority of our players will move on to the high performance level, where they'll go on to Hamilton United, where they'll play OPDL regional, or they may move to other OPDL regional clubs within the surrounding areas. A little bit of a philosophy that we go by, and this was come out from John Fallaby, a sports psychologist at FC Copenhagen. As many as possible, for as long as possible, in the best environment as possible. So we try to keep as many players as we possibly can for as long as we possibly can in that best environment. So we feel that the best environment for our children to develop is with players of the same mentalities, players of the equal ability, players that show the same commitment. And we try to keep the players in those types of environments for as long as possible so that as we do get to that U12, U13 age group, we can push those players to the highest levels. This year, we have created a new program called the U7 Pre-Academy program. This year, we were overwhelmed with the amount of 2016 children that came out, both on the male side and female side, to attend the discovery sessions. On the male side, we had over 80 children, U7 to U8, come out to come to the discovery sessions to make our academy program, which was fantastic to see. Within that group of players, there was a tremendous amount of potential within the U7 group, the 2016s that we saw, as well as a tremendous amount of potential and talent within the U8 group at the discovery sessions. So our U7 pre-academy will be made to males born in 2016, where they'll be provided an opportunity to train as a whole U7 group with a qualified and experienced coach. Alex Ferreira, who's joining us at the club, will be the head coach for the U7 Academy program, pre-academy program, sorry. And the sessions will take place on Saturday mornings from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock at Redeemer Dome, and they will start on October the 22nd. For our U7 pre-academy players, they'll receive the following. So a total of 20 hours of indoor training at Redeemer Dome. They'll also receive 20 hours of outdoor training come April to September. And the cost of the U7 pre-academy will be $350. So that gets them 40 hours of coaching as a group with a qualified coach within the program. Additional options for the U7 pre-academy would be to join the fall indoor house league if spots are available. We do know that that program is full at the present time, but there will be spaces available because players will be moving over from the recreational program to the academy. If a U7 pre-academy player wanted to join the winter house league or the summer house league, we would ensure that they're guaranteed a spot within that program, and they would just pay the additional registration fees to enter those programs. So that's for our U7 pre-academy, and that's going to be on the boys' side. We also have our Selects program. This last year we created the Selects program, and it was a great success. The Selects program was created to help support those players that weren't quite at the academy level just yet, but they wanted more than just the recreational program. So the Selects program was created to provide those players the opportunity to play within the recreational program, but also be part of the academy and attend one training session a week, where it allowed coaches to keep an eye on their development. It allowed the players to continue their development with like-minded children. And it was a great success this year. We had several players that started off in the Selects program, and they will now graduate into the full academy program. So for our U8 to U12 select players, they will participate in the following. So if they've already registered within the full house league, they'll have that spot within that full house league. If we are unable to get them into that full house league, we will then offer them a spot starting in the winter house league. But also select players will also get a spot in the winter house league. They'll attend one academy training session throughout the whole winter per week with their appropriate academy age group. They'll also attend a summer academy session, as well as participating in the summer house league program, where they'll have one game and one training session per week. For the select players, the cost of that program will be $900, and that covers all of their programming, their fall, winter, summer house league, plus their training once per week throughout the whole year with our academy program. Again, a great program for those players that are not quite ready to make that full jump to the academy, but a player that's in on the bubble, as we call it, to continue their development. So here is the yearly costs for our academy program this year. So for our U8 academy, boys and girls, the total cost for the player will be $945. That cost will be can be split into 3 installments. So the first installment would be due when the player registers, the second installment December the 1st, and then the third installment March the 1st. Those installments will be split equally at $315. For a U9 to U12 player, we have lowered the cost again this year. So for the academy players, for the full year of their programming, the cost will be $1,455. Again, that will be split into 3 equal payments of $485. First payment due upon registering, second payment December the 1st, and the third payment on March the 1st. All registrations are take place through the Power Up website and your Power Up account. Payments can be made either by e-transfer or credit card. And if you do choose to pay by credit card, there is an additional 3% charge to the transaction, which covers the Visa or MasterCard charges that the club gets. Again, each family different options, but we do create those payment plans. If families wanted to pay straight away, they can. If they wanted to take the installments, we're great with that as well. So this year, Hamilton TFC, we will be transitioning into full Hamilton TFC Toronto FC colours. So all players U8 to U12 will be required to purchase the club's player package. That will be available and revealed shortly. The uniform try-ons will take place October the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And once players have registered and accepted their academy positions, those try-on dates will be sent out to those players and a schedule will be created. All players that are registering for the academy must order their uniform package by October the 8th, 2022. And the reason for that is so that once the order has been placed on October the 8th, players can then start to receive that package at their door at the beginning of November. So the player package will be purchased online through Brant Sports and will be delivered directly to your home. The package that the players will get is good for 2 years. So if you are a current a U8 player, that package will be good for you for the U8 and U9 age groups, unless you need to purchase additional items due to players growing or things being lost. The cost of the player package is $307 plus HST. So that works out at $346.91. That would be paid directly to Brant Sports. Next slide, we do have the reveal of the packages. These player packages have only been seen by myself and a couple of other people, so hopefully everyone likes the look of them. We're excited to release them, and here we go. So this year for the player packages, as I say, we are wearing and representing Toronto FC. So all players will receive a full home red kit, so shirt, shorts, and socks. All players will receive an away kit of a white shirt, grey shorts, grey socks. All players will also receive a full training kit, which will be worn at every session. So their grey shirt, their black shorts, their black socks. Players will also receive the full tracksuit that can be seen here, track top and track pants. Every player will receive a stadium backpack, which will have the club logo as well as initials on it, and every player will receive a soccer ball. So this year, the player package has increased in quantity of everything that the children will be receiving. And again, this player package will last for 2 years. For those goalkeepers out there, if you choose to want to participate as a goalkeeper, as a full-time goalkeeper, there is also a special player package for you. And this is what our goalkeepers package will look like. They'll get a full home goalkeeper kit of the teal shirt, shorts, and socks. That is a long sleeve jersey. They'll also get a second goalkeeper jersey, shorts and socks, which is the baby blue. Goalkeepers will also receive the full training kit, full tracksuit, bag, and a ball. So as you can see, we're heading back to Adidas, and we're pleased to have signed an agreement with Brand Sports, and we're happy to be working with Adidas again. So here's the next steps. You've gone through the presentation this evening. You've gathered some more information. Starting tomorrow, parents will start to receive emails with our recommendation regarding where their child should be placed. So tomorrow you'll either receive an email with a suggestion, that a recommendation that you should be participating in our full academy program. If you're a U7 player, you may also receive an email saying we think you should be in the U7 pre-academy. Players could also receive an option of playing select, which is the one training session per week with our academy and then continue playing within the recreational program. Or the player may just receive a recommendation that we feel at this present time the best and most appropriate place for them is to continue in the recreational program, continue to develop, and hopefully give it an opportunity again next year to come back to the discovery sessions. The email that you will receive will provide you with information on how to register for the appropriate program. And the emails will have specific registration codes to ensure that players do not register for the wrong program. So if you get selected for the academy, there will be a specific registration code that will unlock that academy program in PowerUp and allow you to then register. Tomorrow, once families receive their offers on their emails, we ask that people make a final decision and register no later than Wednesday, September the 28th, 2022. So that is next Wednesday. If a player is declining the opportunity that we offer, we'd also ask that the families respond back to myself, just to provide me with an update that, hey, thank you for the offer, but unfortunately this time we're not accepting it, just so that we can manage accordingly, because there may be players that have been offered an academy spot and maybe decline it, and that may open up an opportunity for another player to get an opportunity in that academy program. And then once again, all programs will start the week of October the 17th, 2022. So we've come to that time of the night, just under an hour with the presentation. If there's any questions, we can open up the floor to questions, and I will do my best to answer them. If you wanted to use the chat function, you can type your question into the chat, or if you wanted to raise your hand, we can have you raise your hand and unmute yourself, and we can answer any questions. So I'll let the floor open. If there's any questions, please let me know. Okay, so let's do this in order. Hopefully I can manage this. Sophia Krichko. Sorry if I say your name's wrong. Sophia, can you unmute yourself?
Hi there. I'm just wondering, you mentioned kids had the opportunity, some kids may have the opportunity to be watched by Toronto FC coaches and all that fun stuff. Is that just the males, or is that the females as well?
Nope. This year the Toronto FC Academy coaches came down and they spent a full day with us on a Saturday. They watched both males and females, and Toronto FC are hoping in the near future to be able to create a female program for the female players as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Let's go to Joe. Joe, you've got to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go, Joe.
Okay, great presentation. Appreciate it. For the
Thank you.
U7, is it the
Yep.
same type of uniform or is it different if it's selected?
So for the U7 pre-academy, those players will not be required to purchase a uniform. Those players will just wear their black Discovery shirts that they received at the Discovery sessions.
Okay, sounds great. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to try to go through some questions here that I can see in the chat. Hey Carl, is the uniform package the same for the selects as it is the academy? Great question. So for the select players, they do not need to purchase the academy uniform. They again continue to wear their black shirts as they come to the discovery sessions. Because as once those players are in the academy or in the house league program, they'll receive those academy those house league uniforms. So we try to eliminate the costs for select players. If a select player did want to purchase a package, again, we can help make that happen. So hopefully that answers your question, Melanie. Justin Mulder, go Hamilton TFC. Thanks for that, Justin. I have another question here from DeFreitas. Hey, Carol. I've been called much worse. If we registered for recreational and made the academy program, do they still continue with a rec or do they just do academy? Great question. If a player has registered for the recreational program and then they make the academy, what we would do is we would move the recreational registration over towards your academy payment so that they would just continue in the academy only. So that money that has been spent on the academy already goes straight into your or the money that's been spent in the recreational program goes straight into your academy. Hopefully that helps. Is there an opportunity for parents to buy Hamilton TFC swag? Yes. Once the website is set up by Brant Sports, there will be opportunity for parents to purchase Hamilton TFC swag, so that people can walk around looking cool like the players. Trevor, hi Carl, is goalie training scheduled during the same time outlined in your presentation? So the goalkeeper training schedule is scheduled for Friday evenings. So the 9s, 10s, 11s, I believe, will be at 6 o'clock. The older groups will go at 7 o'clock. But again, that information will be sent out once our academy players have been selected and the goalkeepers are selected. Hopefully that answers that question, Trevor. Hussein, thank you, Carl, for the information. Are we going to be told if your child is on a waiting list for the academy, if they've been recommended for select program, and in case an opening came up for the academy? No, we wouldn't make that known within the select email. If you were selected for the select program, you would receive an email saying that you've been selected for select, and then if anything does open up, we'll revisit that select group and then make a decision based on who we think we could be bringing up to the full academy. Next one, Joe and Danielle. Hi, Carl. Just looking for a distinction between pre-academy and U8. Will U8 still have 6-year-olds on the team or only 7-year-olds? So great question. So for the U8 program, with us having a tremendous amount of talented boys this year, the U8 program will be predominantly made up of typical U8 players with 1 or 2 U7 players, depending on how we felt those players would looked at the discovery sessions. Meredith, for the academy, is there a blackout period in the summer that we can organize around, or max amount of time children can mind if they're away? Let me read that again. For the academy, is there a blackout period in the summer that we can organize around or max amount of time children can meet? So within the summer academy, if families go on vacation, they go on vacation. The only blackout dates that we get are for our teams to go to festivals. Hopefully that answers your question, Meredith. Andrea Campbell, how many children tried out and how many will be chosen? Great question. So we had close to 450 children attend the discovery sessions, Andrea. At the present time, I can't give you a number of how many will be chosen, as our coaches are still going through that process tonight, and we'll be having more meetings tonight to discuss that, and those answers will be going out to tomorrow. Joe, thanks. Joe Daniele. Meredith, Miss. Thanks, Meredith. Hopefully that answered your question, Meredith. For the U10 girls, how many teams? So again, for the U10 girls team, or the U10 girls age group, we're looking at carrying 22 players, which will take 2 game day rosters. What is a festival? You mentioned it would be every Saturday. How many times do they play Saturday? So that a festival is for our U8 players. They don't play in the league. They play in festivals. So at a festival, the children will go every Saturday throughout the summer. I believe this past summer they went to 14 different festivals, just playing against other clubs within the city. When they go to those festivals, they're typically a 2-3 hour festival. The children will play 2 games, and then that's their competition for the week. So hopefully that helps to understand what a festival is. Brittany, hello, Carl. Should everyone then receive an email on suggestion payments for the child tomorrow? Yes, Brittany, everyone will receive an email tomorrow, and I will apologize up front if anyone doesn't receive an email tomorrow. With 450 players, we've done a lot of searching and going through numbers, so everyone should receive an email tomorrow. If you don't receive an email tomorrow, please email me, and I will try my best over the weekend to find the appropriate email that will be sent to your child. Yeah, everyone, I'm sure everyone will be eagerly awaiting, and again, those emails, don't anticipate too much in the morning. Those emails will most likely come out early afternoon to mid-afternoon, so please don't be calling the office saying, where's my email? They will come. Excellent presentation, thank you. U10 girls, the coaches are, so for our U10 age group, our head coach is Coach Eugene Mazuka. So question here is, what's a second and third game day roster? Each player plays 2 or 3 games on a weekend? No. Within our rosters, we have 2 or 3 game day rosters. So if we have a group of 22 players, for example, at the U9 age group, that would be 2 game day rosters. Group of 11 players on one roster, group of 11 players on the other roster, they would go to their game and they would play 1 game per week. Meredith, thank you. Marco, thank you. Do we have any other questions? I'm still admitting people. So question about when do the select players play their games? So select players will play their games within the recreational program. So the select players don't play within the academy program. So if you're a select player and you've registered in the fall, winter, or summer house league, those players will participate in those games with other recreational players, and then they'll come to their academy session throughout the week. Question. Hello, Carl. Are the numbers on the back of the shirts going to be assigned, or kids have the chance of picking their number? Great question. Typically, we try to assign the numbers. Players that are returning get their numbers that they had the previous year, and then as we go from there, we try to assign numbers, as we don't want to have silly numbers on soccer jerseys, if that makes sense.
I'm so confused.
Okay, 1 minute.
Did your mic on?
Listen, no, stop.
Who's confused? Is that you, Tristan?
Yeah, let's start this. Sorry, Carl. Got mic off.
No problem. Any other questions? Let's have a look. Very impressed with how organized the club is. Thank you for a great presentation. Thank you, Dana. And thank you to all those parents that also emailed after the sessions this week. Took a lot of work from myself and all the great volunteers and coaches that we had on the field. So thank you to everyone for their patience over the weekend. Is there an opportunity for a player to learn how to handle the ball individually if they are interested in more dribbling skills, or, for example? Great question. In every session that we do, players will get the opportunity to touch the ball hundreds and hundreds of times. We don't offer additional programming, quite simply due to the fact that we don't have the space and resources at the present time to be able to do that. But in every session, players do get the opportunity to touch the ball hundreds and hundreds of times. So those dribbling skills and those skills will evolve and develop throughout the programming. So Sarah, will girls U9 be 7-on-7? Yes, they will, Sarah. For our U9s, they will play indoor. They'll play 5 versus 5, but as they go on to the summer and as they go outdoors, they will play 7v7. Joel, U10 travel. Joel, can you elaborate? Sarah, can you elaborate on your question as well? U9 girls travel. So Maria, good question. Will the players have their names on the backs of their jerseys? No, players will not have their names on the backs of their jerseys. We've gone away from that as clubs, just due to safety of players. There's so many players out there. We don't like the fact that people can see their names and try to contact them. So Joel, travel outside of the district. So Joel, U10. So in the winter, Joel, yes, we're hoping to be able to travel outside of the district to play in a competitive league. We're just waiting for approvals and permission on that. And then when they do go to festivals in the summer, so our U10s can go to a festival and they can go outside the district. So I know this year some of our teams travel to Niagara. Some of them travel to Scarborough, Toronto, so there is some additional travel. And that's, again, according to each team. All of our academy teams did go to Guelph in the spring for the First on the Turf Festival. So players do get to do a little bit of traveling. Piazza, will we be playing against other affiliate teams? That is something that we constantly try to set up for our program. I know some of our programs did play against Toronto, no, not Toronto, London TFC, and a couple of did play against Kitchener TFC. So those opportunities are available if and when we need to use them. Questions seem to be slowing down. If there is any more questions, I will I'll hold on for a few more minutes to see if and there. Thanks, Nez. Thank you very much, Carl, and the coaches for your excellent work and all you do. So, again, thank you to the great coaches that we do have out there. It's these programs wouldn't be successful if it wasn't for the coaches that we have. Joe, you have your hand up. Is that still up from before, or did you not put it down?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot it.
That's okay. That's okay. There we go. Hi, Joel. You missed the beginning of the meeting. So, Joel, tomorrow when the information does go out, this presentation has been recorded and will be sent out along with the information. It'll be in the form of a YouTube link, and you'll be able to watch the last 90 minutes with some popcorn tomorrow evening. Shout out to Jamie and Albert. So thank you, Jim. Okay, ladies and gents, questions seem to have stopped coming in. Again, thank you for being here this evening. If there is any questions, like I say, you'll all be receiving emails tomorrow from me. If there ever is any questions, please feel free to email me at my email, chorton@mhysc.org. I do my very best and try to pride myself on responding to people within 24 hours. So please feel free to email, pick up the phone. We're always available. Thank you again for being here tonight, and we look forward to another exciting Hamilton TFC season. Thank you all. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Hey, Carl, I just have a quick
Yeah.
question since everybody's leaving. I didn't really want to answer it in front of everybody or ask, but for parent coaches, because you mentioned something about that, like say I was interested and I wanted to coach, what would I do? Like just talk to you?
Yeah, shoot me an email and we will see if and where we have space and if what we have available.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No problem.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
No.